Welcome to Stanwick, one of the most impressive Iron Age fortifications in Britain. Built over 2,000 years ago by the Brigantes, the largest tribal confederation in northern Britain, this site was once a major centre of power, trade and resistance. Today, we're walking through its remains to uncover its story, the archaeological discoveries made here, and what they reveal about the people who lived, fought and ruled from this vast stronghold.
This is Stanwick, an enormous, defended Iron Age settlement covering the space of around 760 acres. Now, to put that in perspective, that's the equivalent of around about 580 football pitches. Now, unlike traditional hill forts, Stanwick is a complex of earthworks and enclosures strategically located across the landscape. Okay guys, so today's plan is I'm going to try and walk as much of the perimeter as I can to give you a sense of the scale of this place. But before we do that, we're going to take a slight detour. So I'm here at the Church of St John the Baptist at Stanwick St John, and we're going to call in here because there's an interesting Viking stone with gelling style artwork on, so we're going to take a look at that. And a lot of people and a lot of sources have always debated as to if many of the Christian sites are actually built on top of pagan sites. And this is a prime example of one that definitely is. So the Tofts area that you saw at the introduction is just behind this tree line. So there's loads of earthworks around here. When you look on the LiDAR maps as well, this area that the church is built on seems to be really old, and it's right slap bang in the middle of the defended settlement. So this one definitely is. Hello? Okay, looks like I'm the only one here. I've never been in a place, in a church that's just randomly open with nobody in it, but hey, there we go. Let's have a look round here. Okay, so the stone with the gelling artwork on is right in front of me, so let's have a look. So for those that don't know, in the 10th century, Stanwick lay just inside the northern boundary of the Danelaw. And this cross seems to be, seems to imply that the Danes settled in the region. And this style of artwork's known as gelling style. And I'll flip it around so you can get a sense of the scale. So yeah, it's about 5'10" in height. And there's some other stones here as well. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's that. Let's get on with our perimeter walk. Okay guys, so we're at the start of our journey. I'm in the northeast section of the perimeter. This is as far as I can go, unfortunately, as it is private land behind me, as you can see. So that does mean there's a slight section we can't get to. However, we're going to follow the route anti-clockwise until we come to a partial reconstruction of the wall, because there was originally a wall on top of these earthworks, and we're going to follow it anti-clockwise all the way around, and we're going to end up just on the other side of the area that's private. So we're going to get the vast majority of it, and you're going to be able to get a sense of the scale, and along the way I'm going to tell you some information about the Brigantes and this place. So let's get into it.
Archaeological evidence suggests these defences were built in multiple phases, reflecting continuous use and adaptation over time. Some theories suggest Stanwick may have been a political and defensive stronghold, possibly linked to Queen Cartimandua, a ruler who had complex interactions with Rome. However, the extent of her direct association with Stanwick remains uncertain.
Now, if you're trying to find these perimeter walls on Google Maps, I did use LiDAR to try and see where the majority of it was, but I soon realised that you can actually see where it is fairly well due to the fact that it's completely covered in tree line for 95% of it, whereas the land on either side is typical, farmland. So once you know where to look, you can use the tree line to spot the perimeter. And there's quite a few trees down here because we've had quite a bit of bad weather here in the UK, a few storms, so I am having to go off-piste a little bit. And when we get to the end of this section, there's a lovely piece of reconstructed wall which should give you an idea, roughly, of what it would have looked like all the way along. Okay, so we're coming up to the partial reconstruction of the wall. You should be able to now start getting a sense of just how high this is, and then by the time you factor a bit of wall on top as well, it really is quite a height, to be perfectly honest. And the partial reconstruction, it was done by one of the archaeologists who excavated the area, and he took the stones which had fallen down and used them. So the stones are authentic. It's obviously just been reconstructed in modern times, and here we are. So these stones had apparently come from down there, and they're being reconstructed. And I was here last week, and that was actually really, really full of water. So it seems to have dried up a fair bit since then. So here, give you a sense of just how high that is. And I am actually scared of heights, so I'm going to get off here pretty quick. Stanwick's location was critical. Positioned near major trade routes, it wasn't just a fortified stronghold, but an economic hub. Archaeological finds suggest connections to other parts of Britain, as well as the broader Roman Empire. Okay, so let's go and have a look at what it looks like from down here. And here's what it looks like next to little old me. So I'm standing right in the ditch here, so you should start getting a sense of, you know, just how high it is. Okay, let's get cracking on. Okay, so we're going to come out of this tree line in a moment, because there's a gap in the wall where the modern road cuts right through our Iron Age earthworks. However, you can see a view of it cutting right across the field in front, which you'll see in a moment, and it goes onto the land of one of the estates that's here. However, there's a wall, the perimeter wall of the estate follows our Iron Age earthworks, so we can still follow the wall, and you'll see glimpses of it. I'll show you in a moment, you'll be able to see glimpses of it through the wall. So that's where we're heading to next. Okay, so here you go. As you can see, the modern road cuts through there, and you'll see the wall just starts again on the other side, and it cuts right across this field.
The Brigantes were a powerful Celtic tribe controlling much of what is now northern England. Unlike many other Iron Age groups, they had significant dealings with the Romans. Their Queen Cartimandua is known for aligning with Rome, while factions within her own tribe opposed Roman influence. This internal conflict may have played a role in Stanwick's history.
Okay, so this is the other side of the field where the wall cut across, or the earthworks rather, and it makes way for the modern road, and it cuts into the land of this private estate. However, it largely follows this tree line, so we're going to follow this wall along the tree line, and you'll get glimpses of it through the wall, which I'll show you as and when I can. Okay, so I'm still tracing the wall. It's going to dip in a minute, and you're going to be able to see our earthworks just on the other side of this wall. Okay, so I'm going to cross over so you can get a better look. There you go. Just running along here. And it looks like someone's built a culvert through it as well. Okay, so we're going to press on. We're going to proceed along this wall line, and I'll put the camera back on as soon as we see anything interesting. Okay, so you can just see our earthwork bank in the distance there, running along the line of my finger, and it's cutting diagonally across, and we're going to walk down this road, and there's a right turn, and the road's actually going to follow the line of the earthworks. So let's crack on. Okay, so we're just going to turn right, following this wall line up here, and I'll show you now, it'll come up on your screen. a position on the map of where we are. And you can see this tree line is our earthwork line. That just cut across diagonally across here. And now we're going to follow this tree line, which is just to the right of this wall. So yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Richmond, North Yorkshire. I actually came yesterday to do this, and it was absolutely blowing a gale. It was raining, it was miserable, it was horrible. So I couldn't film, I couldn't get the drone out, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do the walk anyway, I'm going to scope it out, just so I'm a little bit more prepared for today. And I'm really pleased I did, and I'm really pleased I came back, because today's just absolutely perfect for it. Now we're following this tree line here, which, as I said, is our line of the earthwork perimeter. And there's going to be a quarry further up here. Now the quarry is at an area where there's an opening in the earthworks. So I'm wondering if maybe it was originally quarried by the Brigantes. Okay, so I've just come to a section of the wall here with a lowered section on that we can look over and see the earthworks and just how closely they do actually follow this wall. So this is the earth bank here, and it drops down for this gap, and then it picks back up just on that side. But look, this tree line is a bit of a giveaway for where the bank is. So let's keep moving. Okay, so I've come to the end of that road. There's a gap in the earthworks here for the modern road. I'm going to cross over in a moment, and you might be able to hear some noise associated with the quarry in the background, but this is the start of our earthworks again. I'm just going to quickly nip through here and show you the extent of it very quickly. So look, this is the earthen bank. And as you can see, it's extremely steep here. So let's continue following this road. Okay, so we're still following this tree line along, and it's going to cut over the modern road there again, and then that tree line is a continuation of the bank, and you can see it runs all the way along here. Okay, so here we go. So this is our bank running along here. I'm going to walk next to it, just along the perimeter of the field. And then what I'll do is, when I can, I'll go into the woodland and I'll show you the earthworks proper. But it's essentially just following this tree line as far as the eye can see. Okay, so I've just found a little section here that I can get over, just so I can show you the earthworks, because it might not be too obvious from where you are, but you can certainly start making them out. So let me just flip it round so you can see. So there you go. Should be able to make out that dip and this earth bank here. So I'm going to climb back over here and continue following the perimeter of this field. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this field. There's a gap again for the modern road, and then the tree line just continues in a straight line where it is. So just a little break here to cross over the modern road. And I'll tell you what, it feels like I'm wearing moon boots, the amount of mud I've got stuck to my boots here now. But that's the country for you. You've got to love it. Oh. Okay, so let's cross over this road. And you can see here, our tree line continues. There's a couple of points I'm going to go in and show you because the bank is just incredibly steep, really. And just the reconstructed part of the wall, but it just got me thinking how much of that big long wall we were going across, did any of the original stonework end up in there? Because it wouldn't be the first time that Roman, Celtic construction, the masonry gets reused. It certainly seemed to happen with Penrith Castle in Cumbria, which is somewhere I've visited and it's very close to home. So yeah, just going to get out the road of this big tracker. Okay, so we're nearly at the end of this road. Our earthworks continue along here and then disappear off straight down into another field where this road turns to the right. But what I want to do is I just want to quickly go in here and show you the extent of the earthworks because this section is really steep and really impressive. So let's jump in.
These defensive structures were among the most advanced for their time, suggesting a society prepared for conflict, possibly against rival tribes or, eventually, the Romans. However, whether Stanwick was designed primarily for war or as a symbol of power and prestige is still debated. The vast size of the settlement implies it may have housed thousands of people at its peak.
So yeah, you should be able to really get a sense of the scale of how deep this ditch is and how tall this bank is. What's remarkable about Stanwick is the ambition and scale of its construction. It was enclosed with massive earthworks which include banks and ditches that were up to 6 metres in height and sometimes reinforced with masonry or timber. Okay, so let's get back out of this ditch, let's get back on the road and let's get following our earthworks round. So look, as you can see, the road's just going to bend round to the right here. We're going to continue straight on and we're going to go through some woodland. So this is actually my favourite part of the entire walk, actually cutting through this woodland. It's very nice this time of year. The snowdrops coming out. You can hear, well, yesterday I could hear birds calling, and I actually had an encounter with 2 deer yesterday. I just heard something rustling. Out of the corner of my eye I saw something white just bounding away, and then it stopped, and I managed to just keep walking, and I managed to basically see the 2 deer, and then they ran just to the right of me and they ran off right down the earthworks. So that was quite a special moment. So we've reached the point where our road is curving round here. We're going to carry straight on. So let's flip it round so you get a first person view. So there's the termination of the earthworks, or rather where they've cut through it to let this road through. It continues there, so we're just gonna go through this wall, which has been, well, it's certainly seen better days, let's put it that way, and we're just gonna follow this path up and along the earthworks. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this woodland section, and then it comes out into a field, into a more open area. However, the earthworks continue following under the line of tree cover. So we're just going to continue, and I'll show you, I'll flip it round in a minute when we get out of here and I'll show you the line that it follows. Here, look. Here's a casualty of the storm. My mum up in Cumbria said it was really bad there because they're right on the west coast. There was roof tiles gone, there was fence panels gone, communications were down. Yeah, it really did a number on us here. So look, we come out into this this field, and our earthworks continue following right down there until that tree line you can see just in the distance, and it traces all the way back down there, and we're getting towards the end now. We're definitely past the halfway mark. We're maybe 2/3 of the way through at this stage, and it's getting a little bit warm now. Okay, so once again, our earthworks are following the line of this wall behind me here. So we're going to follow it along right the way down, then it's going to take a left turn to head back to the area you saw in the intro. So that's where we're headed. The embankment is just on the other side, as you can see through the wall. So this is the embankment here. So yeah, I wonder if any of this stone was original. Who knows if any of it was utilised. Okay, so we're coming to a turning point here of the earthworks, and I'll show you where we are on the map now. There'll be a visual pop-up so you can see roughly where we're at. You can see the bank rising up in front of you there. I'm not going to go in because when I went into it yesterday, it's very overgrown with these little trees, and I was having to, well, I was almost crawling underneath them. So we'll give that a miss for today. So in a moment for you viewers, not for me, but in a moment, you'll start seeing the hill sloping downwards. You'll see some exposed earthworks, and you'll start seeing the area that you could see during the introduction. Here you can see some of the bank exposed here, the earthworks. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this straight section of the earthworks. You'll be able to see the exposed earthworks running straight ahead. That section does unfortunately go into an area that's private, so I am going to have to go around this little bit and go on the main road to follow it round, but it is going to join up at the bottom of the section that you can see in a moment. It's nice to see these buzzards as well flying around. They seem to be harassing the crows, or the crows are harassing the buzzards. Either way, they were making a bit of a carry-on earlier. Hello. Oh. Here's a public right of way through here, isn't it?
I'm presuming so. I did see somebody come through this morning. So
All right, okay. I just wanted to double check that. Obviously, if you didn't want me coming through, I would have gone that way.
Here, so
Right, okay.
I'm presuming so, because as I say, I have seen people come through.
Okay,
here before,
all right.
so.
Thank you then. Thanks very much. Okay, so I've just had to go around a little bit extra on the public roads because the earthworks cut right through somebody's garden, or a few people's gardens. It was definitely on private property anyway. So you might just be able to see it running along there in the distance. So it just runs behind that wall there. And you'll see in a moment that the Brigantes seem to use some of the natural landscape as well as part of the defences, because there's a beck which seems to they seem to have used the line of a beck and the line of one at this hill that you're going to see in a moment as well. So that, I thought that was very interesting, and it'll certainly become more apparent as we head down that way. Oh yeah, you're all right. Okay, so I've just come to the end of this this bit of road, and I thought I would turn the camera back on so that you can see. This is the end of the earthworks that you saw before, just that went through the gardens. So there you go, you can see it sloping down. And then what happens is it follows the line of the river. Okay, so we're just going to cut across here through this public footpath, and there'll be a bit of a graphic on the screen now, just showing you where we are on the map. Whoa. Hey, you can't beat an old school style, can you? Let's just appreciate that for one moment. Look at that, look at it. There's even a grab rail and 2 steps. Damn, you gotta love the country. So yeah, they seem to have used, because when you look on a map, seem to have used this streamline here as the defence on this section, which is interesting. And the wall, or rather the earthworks, you'll see in a moment, on the other side of this hill, it follows the hill line as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, they definitely seem to have been using the landscape as well to their advantage, which is super interesting. And actually, I really like this part of the walk as well, right next to this stream. There's something about the sound of flowing water which is quite calming for me. Okay, so let's crack on, and I'll check back in when we get back to these prominent earthworks, because we're almost at the area that you saw in the intro. Now, Stanwick has yielded some incredible archaeological finds which give us a fascinating insight into Iron Age life.
Excavations have uncovered a rich variety of artefacts, including pottery, metalwork and Roman goods, suggesting that Stanwick was not only a defensive site, but also a thriving centre of trade and culture. One of the most fascinating finds is a collection of chariot fittings, hinting at a skilled warrior elite who may have engaged in battle or ceremonial displays. Another significant discovery was a hoard of Roman coins, possibly indicating diplomatic exchanges or shifting allegiances between the Brigantes and Rome.
During excavations here, an Iron Age sword was found still in its original wooden scabbard. But perhaps more mysteriously, the most enigmatic find that was made on the site was the burial of an adult male, where a horse's head had been carefully placed onto the body, which may be a reflection of ceremonial or ritualistic practice. Okay guys, this is the final stretch. So you can see the earthworks behind me running all the way off into the distance, up until you can see the house in the trees there, which is the house that's on, well, where we couldn't go at the start because of the private property. So we're at the very, very last stretch of the site here now. So I'm going to flip this round so you can see the extent of the earthworks. So look, this last stretch of exposed earthwork here. And as I said, it runs all the way up, and then just over here, you'll see the house, whose property it was right at the beginning of the video. So we've pretty much done it. We've pretty much walked the entire perimeter. So let's walk as much of it as we can until we get to some more private property and just about 100 metres in front, which means sadly I can't go any further, but you'll be able to see the earthworks cutting up the hill in the distance, and then that's going to be the end of our journey. And there we go, guys, that's as far as I can get here. But you'll see the earthworks continue round and they follow that line of the wall up to the house near where we started. Okay, so the final stretch of the journey now. I've just got this field to cross and then we're back at the church of St John the Baptist where we first started. And I just want you to take note of all the lumps and bumps you can see in the fields as we walk through. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, look, you can see so many lumps and bumps in this field. I mean, that house there is built on top of some of them. And there's another earthwork cutting right past it. There's the remains of all kinds in these fields here. Well, there we go. We're on the homeward stretch, so I thought I would give my final thoughts here. We've certainly put a good day in. You can see the sun. Well, there's not much daylight left, put it that way. It's started to go down. You can see the final stretch of the earthworks going up there. And we're just going to go to the Church of St John the Baptist, and then we're going to follow the road round back to the car to complete our walk of the perimeter, or as much that we could do anyway. But yeah, look at all these undulations and everything that's around here. So this land was definitely used for something, not just simple grazing. And as you can see here as well, look.
Despite its formidable defences, Stanwick was abandoned around the time of the Roman conquest of northern Britain, in the late 1st century AD. Some historians believe it was taken by force, while others suggest it declined due to internal conflicts or shifting power structures. What remains certain is that after the fall of Stanwick, Brigantian resistance to Rome weakened significantly.
I used to live in a mill, in a field, surrounded by sheep in Cumbria, so it's bringing back a little bit of nostalgia for me right now. Hello. Hello. Look at them three. Hiya. And here we go. We are back at the Church of St John the Baptist. And hey, look at this, a little ladder to finish off. And there, that's the field you saw in the introduction. Standing here amongst these ancient earthworks, it's fascinating to imagine the people who once lived here. The remains of wooden structures, the defensive ditches and the high-status artefacts that have been found here help us to reconstruct an image of Stanwick as a complex and evolving power centre. There's the church of St John the Baptist from earlier. We're going to walk right past it this time. I'm going to follow the road up. And as I showed you before, our earthworks cut right behind these buildings here. And we'll see it again at the top of the road. I'm going to be honest, I'm feeling fairly beat now. You know, I've been out a good few hours. See what time it is now. So it's 5:15. I've been here since about 11:30 this morning. So, you know, it's been a good few hours. So, yep, I'll see you at the top of this road in a moment. You can see it's not far now. So nearly at the top of the road. I just wanted to show you the earthworks in the distance there. This is actually a good vantage point here. But yeah, you can see it runs all the way down there. So the drone footage is from right down that end. It cuts all the way up, all the way along to the top of the road. And then on the other side of the road, it runs behind this house here, which is almost where we started. We started roughly about here. It turns into private property from there on. So we've done the vast majority of it. I'm very pleased with how today's gone. Oh, you noisy devils. So here you go. See earthworks running down there. So there you go, guys. We've pretty much walked the entire perimeter of this Iron Age settlement of the Brigantes. And where we started is just to the left of that house there. That's where the earthworks came to a point where it said private property. That's where we started at the start of the video, some 5 hours ago. So we've done a really good job today. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I'm off to the pub now to get a pint of Guinness. So thanks for sticking with me and making it this far.
Stanwick remains one of the most impressive prehistoric sites in Britain, offering a rare glimpse into a lost world of trade, tribal leaders and shifting alliances. Its earthworks still stand as a testament to the power and ambition of the Brigantes, a people whose legacy is etched into the very landscape itself.
If you ever get a chance, visit Stanwick and walk these ancient paths yourself. There's no better way to connect with the past than to walk where history was made.
Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos exploring Britain's ancient past. Thank you for watching and catch you on the next one. Old Boy, out.